the lines between civilian and military authority. While the migrants still face charges for illegal entry and possible deportation, defense lawyers argued that many were arrested before warning signs were posted or had no idea they were crossing into a restricted zone. Ira Spitzer, San Francisco.
U.S. singer Chris Brown's been charged with grievous bodily harm with intent over an incident in a nightclub in London in 2023. He was arrested at a hotel in Manchester on Thursday. From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
From the studios of Extreme Sports in Hastings, Nebraska, we present Huddle Up, a great way to start your day with all the news, weather, and sports you need, interesting interviews, and friendly conversation from two guys that go together like Scooby and Shaggy, Mike Will and Tyson Havronic.
Well, good morning, everybody. It's Friday. Welcome to another edition of Huddle Up here on Extreme Sports. It is the 16th day of May for 2025. Mike Will, Tyson Havronic, ready to start your day the right way with all the news, weather, and sports you need to get you out the door here this morning. Big win for the Nebraska baseball team last night. Huskers mounting their largest comeback in 15 years to beat Purdue by the score of 11-9 in West Lafayette, Indiana. We'll talk about that coming up. That win sends the Huskers into the Big Ten tournament next week. The Nebraska softball team, they'll play UConn today in the opening round of the Baton Rouge Regional of the NCAA softball tournament. Meanwhile, the Huskers softball team had 6 players named to the National Fast Pitch Coaches Association All Mountain Region teams. We'll take a look at that this morning. 3-time Missouri Valley Conference Coach of the Year, Breanne Hall, has been named the next head coach of the Nebraska women's golf program. Hastings High boys soccer team recorded their first state tournament victory in 15 years last night. They beat Elkhorn North in the state tournament. So the Tigers will move on. They'll play Schuyler in the semifinals on Saturday. State baseball tournament gets underway today in Omaha with opening round games in Class A. Classes B and C will play their opening round games on Saturday, including a couple of contests we'll have here on Extreme Sports with Hastings High playing Omaha Scott and Adams Central taking on Wayne tomorrow. And some news out of the NBA and the NHL as we'll check the playoff results from last night. So a lot going on. Jim Sliker from the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network expected to join us at 7:30 this morning to talk ponies in Lincoln. Also talk about this week's Preakness Stakes that'll be run on Saturday. So lots going on here today as we check in with Tyson Havronic in the Western Studios. Good morning.
Your plate's full already on a Friday, and now you're adding me to the equation. This is going to be a jam-packed show. We'll try to get through all the things that are sitting on the menu today, and what an exciting win for Hastings High soccer. I think we can start there at Morrison. Come from behind victory. Got a little help from Elkhorn North as they put one in the back of their own net, an empty netter, and Hastings High gets the tiebreaker late with like 7 minutes or so left in that matchup, and Tigers moving on in the Class B state soccer tournament. And you knew when you're matching up against an Elkhorn North squad, I mean, that they were going to be a tough first round draw. And what a way to come through in Omaha for the Tigers yesterday on the pitch. A lot of Tiger faithful starting to recognize and take note. This Hastings High soccer team is doing some pretty special things over there in Omaha, and that an exciting win yesterday for the boys.
Yeah, that was their first state tournament victory in 15 years. Their last one was in 2010 when they beat South Sioux City 2-1 in the semifinals. And you mentioned the team is special. They are. They're sitting at 18-1 of the season.
Right.
They're the number 2 seed here in the state tournament behind Bennington. And now they move on to the semifinal round to play Schuyler in the semifinals on Saturday. The Warriors beating Crete last night by a score of 8-2. So we don't see Schuyler come along in a lot of postseason play, but
Right.
the Warriors having a good season up there at Schuyler, and we'll see them in the semifinals on Saturday. So, hey, it's going to be a busy Saturday in Omaha for Hastings High teams. We've got the baseball team playing at 10 tomorrow. Then you've got the soccer team playing on the Saturday. I think it's Saturday night. I'll have to double check that. But they're playing Saturday against Schuyler in the semifinals in soccer. So you can just spend a day. Why not?
If you're a Tiger faithful, absolutely. Go up there, catch a little ball game, get some coffee and baseball, and finish on the pitch. If you've never been to Morrison over there at Creighton for state soccer, you got to go. I mean, it's an experience in and of itself just to be there on the pitch and these talented teams. And you talk about first time in 15 years, and I look back and I'm like, man, Hastings High has had some extremely talented soccer programs come up in those through those 15 years. But I've always said, even from the time that I was doing Northwest Viking soccer on the pitch, I mean, Class B is such a talented field when you take a look at things. I mean, you throw in your Omaha Scots, your Lexingtons have been extremely talented teams come through there. You throw in Scott, Lexington. You mentioned Bennington. They've been up there. Your Elkhorn squads that go in. You throw Hastings High into the mix. Class B is just such a grind just to try to get to the state tournament, get through your districts, let alone make some noise in the state tournament. So yeah, first one in 15 years. Proud moment to be a Tiger, and like I said, they got a fun day planned in Omaha if you're wearing the black and orange.
Yeah, I just double-checked. That is a 7:30 start tomorrow for soccer. And Hastings High baseball team will play at 10 tomorrow morning against Omaha Scots. Also, another team from Hastings going to be in Omaha tomorrow. That's Adams Central. They're going to play Wayne in baseball in Class C opening round game. That will be a 7 o'clock start tomorrow night. So we'll have the Hastings High and Adams Central baseball games here on Extreme Sports tomorrow, beginning bright and early, 9:45 tomorrow, pregame show with head coach Blake Marquardt. So
Hastings taking over Omaha, man.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting day for us in Omaha. So soccer's going on, baseball is going on. You mentioned Nebraska baseball last night, coming from 8 runs down after 3 innings to beat Purdue by the score of 11-9. That was the biggest comeback for Nebraska since they came back from 10 runs down to beat North Dakota on March 30th of 2010. So the Huskers pick up a big win that locks them in to the Big Ten tournament next week. And the Huskers still have 2 more games to play here with Purdue. They'll play at 3 this afternoon, then they'll wrap up the series tomorrow before they get ready for postseason play. So the Huskers are in. It wasn't easy to get this team into the postseason, but we're going to make the Big Ten tournament, and now we'll see what we can get done next week in tourney play.
You know, it sort of, this baseball team reminds me when I was 15 years old and was trying to learn how to drive a stick shift for the very first time. a lot of grinding, a lot of stopping, a lot of stalls. We'd have periods where we'd get up and we'd accelerate and we could get her into 4th gear and we felt really good. And next thing you know, it was like, oh, now we're doing a hill. Oh God, what do I do here? It was start and stop. It was 1 step forward, 1 step back a lot of the different times. And even last night, you know, just to get into the Big Ten tournament. And I knew, I figured 2 wins because I didn't know who else needed help or who else had opponents that they could potentially get through. And I wasn't quite sure. I figured 2 was kind of your goal, win the series over the weekend. But you pick up 1, you get some help, and now you're into the Big Ten postseason tournament. And again, this is where Nebraska made a special little flash in the pan last year at this time when they got hot, ended up winning the Big Ten tournament. So you're hoping that you're playing your best ball, and that, God, who knows? I mean, this could be a exact repeat, watch, rinse, and repeat from a season ago. But if I've learned anything this week, man, it's you can't turn a baseball game off. Blake Marquardt, Hastings High Tigers, they prove it against Ralston. Nebraska proving it last night. I took an early glance at my phone after the 3rd inning of play, and I said, we're done. This team is done. We can't even beat Purdue in a must-win scenario. And next thing I know, I'm looking over at one of my good friends that's over at the bar was mentioning. He's like, "Hey, Nebraska's back in it." And I said, "Get out of here! We're not back in it." Pull up the phone. Sure as hell, here we are. And it was manufacturing. It wasn't like a big swing. It was exactly what Mark Wart talked about earlier this week, in the fact that you didn't take a look at the score and the deficit and look at Mount Everest. You just put the initial step forward to climb that mountain and started chipping away. And that's how you got to look at those when you're down. And I don't care if it's like baseball or you're looking at a situation in your life. You just got to take that initial step and keep chipping away, and good things will happen. So kudos to Nebraska baseball and Will Bolt in Nebraska now playing in some Big Ten conference tournament play. I'm losing my voice.
All right, the softball team, they're going to be playing today UConn, opening round of the Baton Rouge Regional. That game will go at 2 this afternoon, followed by the matchup between LSU and Southeastern Louisiana. So we'll see what the Nebraska softball team can do this weekend. Likely it'll be an LSU-Nebraska matchup, hopefully. Keep your fingers crossed. That'll be on Saturday. So it's going to be a big sports weekend. I told you earlier as we got started, it's going to be everything both locally and nationally, regionally. Going to be a big weekend in sports. So get ready for a busy one this weekend.
You cherish events like these where things start to come together, multiple different sports from national. You get your playoff action that's going to be going on. Of course, on the Major League Baseball front, then you're throwing in the college baseball, getting ready to get underway with the postseason tournaments next week. You mentioned softball, and I'm still not counting. I'm not counting the chickens quite yet. Before we hatch those eggs, I still believe a scrappy UConn team could be a formidable opponent today, so I don't want to chalk it. But you'd like to think that we throw the ace in the circle today and can get the job done. But I don't want to sit here and say, oh yeah, LSU. We're waiting on LSU. Let's take care of business first today, and then worry about that other side of the bracket. But it'll be fun to watch, and we got a lot of eyeballs on a lot of different sports. This should be an exciting weekend. But PGA championships, we got the Preakness. What else you want?
Let's see, we got racing. All-Star weekend this weekend for NASCAR.
All-Star weekend?
Yeah, All-Star weekend.
Like the halfway point, the All-Star break?
No, they don't do it like other sports. Yeah, they lead off with the biggest race of the year in the Daytona 500.
Like 3 weeks through, you're doing an all-star race?
Yeah, we got an all-star race coming up this weekend.
Huh.
I know, it's strange.
How many qualify for an all-star race?
This is based off of last year. I think the winners from last year, they get together and race. I don't know what the format is. It's kind of a hokey deal. They come up with a lot of gimmicks for this weekend.
Dude, just take the week off. All-Star weekend? Really?
All-Star weekend for NASCAR.
Doesn't count for points or anything?
No.
Screw it, I'm not racing.
Whatever.
Going home and see my family.
Do whatever you got to do.
If it's not for points, I ain't playing.
7:13. Waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning, huddle up on Extreme Sports. If you'd like to join us here today, love to chat with you. 402-834-1330 is our telephone number, 402-834-1330. Whatever's on your mind here today, they're sports-related or not. And give us a call. We'll chat about it here as we join you at the breakfast table, so to speak, getting your day started. You can leave us a message on our social media sites as well. We're monitoring those comments as well. We'll check the playoff picture from last night. The Denver Nuggets have forced a seventh game in their NBA Western Conference semifinal series with Oklahoma City. They won last night over the Thunder by the score of 119 to 107. So that series now tied up at 3 games apiece. Game number 7 coming up on Saturday. Tonight is Game 6 of the Eastern Conference semifinal series as Boston plays at New York. The Knicks lead that series 3-2.
And just a quick word of note, I'm back in the All-Star race. Amber, who's doing some research for us in the comments section, they're racing for $1 million this weekend. So I retract my previous statement. I'll go racing for $1 million. Yeah. On the ice, the storybook season for Alexander Ovechkin breaks the all-time record set by Wayne Gretzky, and you might think that, oh, how beautiful that would have been capped off with the Stanley Cup. It's not going to happen. Carolina Hurricanes, a 3-1 winner. They advance in the Eastern Conference by 3-1. They await the winner of the Toronto Maple Leafs and Florida Panthers series. Florida with the edge there. And the Dallas Stars had a chance to clinch, but were shut out by Connor Hellebuyck. I've given him a lot of crap on the morning show these past couple of weeks. Hellebuyck got a shutout yesterday for the Winnipeg Jets. They win 4-0 over Dallas. Dallas able to just muster up 22 shots overall on goal and fall to the Jets. So the Jets the Dallas still with a 3-2 advantage for today. We will go back to the East, where the Panthers will have an opportunity to face the Carolina Hurricanes with a win over the Toronto Maple Leafs. Game 6 set for tonight, 7 p.m. Action will be on TNT.
All right, so I get you up to date on the playoff picture, the NBA and the NHL. 7:16, waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
We will start over at the state capitol today, where a bill aimed at expanding food assistance in Nebraska is now facing a new hurdle just one day after it passed the Nebraska legislature. Lawmakers approved a measure that would extend SNAP benefits, also known as food stamps, to about 1,000 Nebraskans with felony convictions, including for drug distribution, as long as they've completed their sentences. However, Governor Jim Pillen quickly vetoed the bill, saying it would create loopholes for repeat offenders. The bill's sponsor, Senator Victor Roundtree, says the change is about second chances and has support from law enforcement and religious leaders. He argues that food security helps reduce repeat offenses and supports families reentering society. Roundtree now pushing to override the governor's veto and said he's working to secure the votes he needs. The original bill passed with 32 votes, by the way, which is 2 more than required for an override. A final override vote is expected on Monday. Also, the legislature has officially approved the 2-year state budget, but not without controversy. Yesterday evening, lawmakers passed the budget despite sharp criticism from some senators who warned the plan could lead to financial instability and even raise constitutional concerns. In the end, the budget passed with a 37-11 vote. Now all eyes turn to Governor Jim Pillen, who has until midnight on Wednesday next week to issue any line item vetoes. He went out and put out a statement last night saying, quote, "I commend the Nebraska legislature for its work in passing a balanced and historically conservative biennial budget package. Nebraskans expect us to reduce government spending, invest in our kids, and lower property taxes." Pillen goes on to say, "I thank the legislature for rolling back expanded spending, putting idle pillowcase money to work, and having the courage to say no more to spending increases. This budget puts money towards education, property tax relief, elimination of the developmental disability wait list, and bolsters our national nuclear security, all while closing the $432 million budget deficit that was reported in November." He finishes by saying, "With this balanced budget, we have the opportunity to make further investments in addressing our property tax crisis," and says he looks forward to working with the legislature in the coming weeks to do the right things for Nebraskans. End quote. 7:18. Flip things back over to the East Side Studios. Mike, what's the happened in sports?
Well, the Nebraska baseball team battled its largest comeback in 15 years to pick up an 11-9 win over Purdue last night in West Lafayette, Indiana. Huskers trailed 8-0 after just 3 innings. making it the largest come-from-behind win since rallying from a 10-run deficit against North Dakota on March 30th of 2010. Nebraska scored 11 runs on 14 hits with an error. Purdue totaled 9 runs, 11 hits, and 2 errors. Dylan Carey was 2 for 4 at the plate with a home run, 3 RBIs, and 2 runs scored. Caden Brumbaugh drove in 3 runs on a 2 for 6 night with a double. Starting pitcher Tucker Timmerman surrendered 8 runs on 6 hits in just 2 innings. With the win, the Huskers lock up a spot in next week's Big Ten tournament. They are 27-26 on the season, 14-14 in the conference. Same 2 teams will play at 3 this afternoon. The Nebraska softball team will play UConn today in the opening round of the Baton Rouge Regional. The Huskers are 39-13. The Huskies are 35-17. First pitch will be at 2 this afternoon. In the other game, LSU will play Southeastern Louisiana. The Nebraska softball team had 6 players named to the National Fast Pitch Coaches Association All Mountain Region teams. Jordy Ball, Ava Kuzik, and Olivia DiNardo were named to the first team. Hannah Kamazin and Samantha Bland were on the second team. Casey Hoffman was on the third team. The last time Nebraska had 3 players in the all-region first team was in 2016. 3-time Missouri Valley Conference Coach of the Year, Brianne Hall, has been named the next head coach of the Nebraska women's golf program. Hall, who won back-to-back Missouri Valley Coach of the Year honors at Illinois State the past 2 seasons, led the Redbirds to 3 NCAA tournament appearances over the past 4 seasons. She was also named the Missouri Valley Coach of the Year in 2022. Hastings High boys soccer team recorded their first state tournament victory in 15 years last night with a 4-3 win over Elkhorn North. Their last victory was in 2010 when they beat South Sioux City 2-1 in the semifinals. Hastings is now 18-1 in the season. They will play Schuyler in the semifinals on Saturday night at 7:30. The Warriors beat Crete last night by a score of 8-2. In the other games, Bennington got by Gretna East 4-2, and Lexington defeated Mount Michael 4-1. Today in the semifinals of the Class A girls bracket, Lincoln Southwest will play Elkhorn South at noon, followed by Omaha Marion against Bellevue West at 2. The Class A boys will play their semifinal games tonight. Omaha Creighton Prep will play Omaha Westside at 5:30, followed by South Sioux City against Omaha South at 7:30. State High School Baseball Tournament gets underway today with opening round games in Class A. Lincoln East will play Papillion La Vista at 10, followed by Millard South against Millard West at 1. At 4, Papillion La Vista South will play Millard North, followed by Kearney against Elkhorn South. That game will go at 7 tonight. Classes B and C will play their opening round games tomorrow. Hastings High will play Omaha Scott at 10 tomorrow morning. Adams Central will play Wayne at 7. We'll have both games here on Extreme Sports. That's a check in your sports headlines coming up on 7:23 on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
Get ready for some sandblasting winds today. Everybody, Tim Jones, Nebraska Weather TV. 71 is the high today, but that's not the big story. Other than plenty of sunshine, we'll have strong winds out of the west-northwest, 20 to 30 miles per hour with gusts in the mid-40s. So hang on to your hair, your hats, and your toupees. Tonight, we'll have breezy conditions, but the winds will back off slightly. 43 is the overnight low, 76 and sunny Saturday, then a chance of thunderstorms by the end of the weekend.
Right now, as you wake up, get going this morning, west winds at 14 miles per hour. It's partly cloudy, 57 in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. Located at 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings. At Bamboo Spa, we offer a range of therapies to help you unwind and recharge. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating head spa scalp treatments, and our Advanced Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing power of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Become a member for exclusive 24-hour access to our therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge. Members enjoy 20% off all services and 10% off products in our non-toxic retail shop. Visit our Facebook page to learn more and book your appointment today. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, truly holistic care, designed for you.
I'm John Butler, funeral director and owner at Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center in Hastings.
And I'm Nikki Butler, the advanced funeral planning specialist. Whether you choose a traditional service, cremation, or a unique memorial service, our experienced staff is here to help guide you through every step. Visit us at lbvfh.com to learn more about our services and how we can support you.
Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center. We are here when your need is greatest.
Hamilton has been providing IT solutions for businesses across the state of Nebraska for more than 3 decades. We know that Nebraska businesses are a driving force of support for the communities in which we live and work. We keep them connected and protected by delivering cybersecurity, hosted phones, and managed IT. We are grateful to be part of our Nebraska communities and to support their technology needs.
More information at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Get ready for the ultimate trivia experience with Extreme Sports Trivia. Play from anywhere at home, on the go, or at your favorite bar or restaurant. Compete live against players from all over in real time, answering questions across categories like sports, pop culture, Marvel, and more. Want to see how you stack up? Track your progress with live leaderboards and aim for the top spot. It's free, fun, and super easy to play. So what are you waiting for? Sign up today at extremesports.com trivia and start playing now. And keep an eye out. We're coming soon to a bar or restaurant near you.
Get ready, race fans. Cam Raceway is teaming up with Extreme Sports for an electrifying season of high-speed, dirt-slinging, adrenaline-pumping action. Every race night, we're bringing you live video coverage straight from the track, so you won't miss a single lap, pass, or photo finish. From non-wing warriors to cage karts, flat karts, and the A-class wing beasts, we've got it all. There's nothing like the roar of the engines, the smell of burning rubber, and the rush of dirt flying action right in front of you. So get to the track and experience it live. But if you can't make it, don't sweat. Extreme Sports has you covered. Buckle up, because this season is going to be fast, fierce, and unforgettable. Make sure you like and follow Extreme Sports on Facebook to get all the latest updates, and we will see you at the track.
All right, Mike Will, Tyson Urbanic with you on this Friday morning, the 16th of May for 2025. Thanks for joining us here today. Whether you're listening to us online at x-streamsports.com, maybe on your smartphone with our free mobile app, on your smart speaker, Roku TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitch. Thanks for joining us and making us part of your Friday morning. It's Friday, it's 7:30 almost, and you know what that means?
They're at the post. Now they're moving into the gate.
Kentucky Derby, and Barbaro is running away. It's Edgar Prado aboard, and Barbaro is going to win this Derby by 6 lengths. Bluebest had second. From far back, Steppenwolf came on to be third.
Well, every Friday morning we like to catch up with Jim Sliker from the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network to talk ponies on the show. And Jim, good morning. Welcome.
Morning, guys.
It's another big weekend of racing. Of course, the live racing is in Lincoln, but of course the Preakness is coming up this week. Let's talk the local scene first, Jim. What's going on in Lincoln this weekend?
Well, it's pretty exciting. Lincoln expanded their meet now to 15 days of racing. Hopefully that'll ramp up even more next year. But with the help from the casinos, the purses are up. Got some great horses on the grounds, and they're pretty much offering a stakes race every day. And these stakes races are $25,000, $30,000 races. Predominantly trying to help out the Nebraska breeders and stuff. So a lot of these are geared towards the Nebraska horses, and so there's some great racing out here. Beautiful track. If you've never been here, you need to come out. It's a 7/8 mile track. Puts a little different play into this because most of the races you're going to see are 5 and 5.5 furlong races. So it's a little longer than that 4 furlong sprint we see at Fauner, but not quite the going the 3/4 of a mile. So, but there's some great racing this weekend.
A good racing on tap, and we'll dive into the card, the weekend card here in just a second, Jim. But I think for many of us, we're putting eyeballs on the Lincoln track for maybe the first time, and last weekend when they got things underway. How'd things play off last weekend? Were there any surprises in terms of how the track played in comparison to Fauner? What did we learn from the handicap perspective a week ago?
Well, to start with, I thought it was going to play out that there was going to be a speed bias similar to what we've seen at Fauner. And as the 3 days went on, we've seen that the track played pretty even. There were some horses that were rallying from off the pace. There was also some that won on the lead. But it seemed like looking at things, the jockey standings, the trainer standings, the cream of the crop was rising to the top just like it did at Fauner. We're seeing some great action there from some of the best trainers that we have around.
All right. So what is the? Go ahead, Jim. I was just going to ask you what the schedule for the track was for this weekend.
Well, the schedule is on Friday. First post time is 3 p.m. So got to get out here a little bit earlier than what we see at Fauner. So Fridays is 3 p.m. Saturdays and Sundays is a 1:30 start. So. Something a little bit different is they only offer 6 races at both days or all 3 days instead of the 8 to 10 race card. So it's a little more compact. There is 35 minutes between races to help you give a little more time to study the horses. But like I said, it's nice to see. There's a lot of tracks open right now, but we've got a lot of horses that are coming in. A little bit of a detriment, and it's taking time. It's a building process here, but all these horses that are coming in, most of them are all in training in Grand Island. They don't have the barn area developed yet, so everybody has to ship in for race days. So it's a little bit of a hindrance there, but they're working through this, and eventually there'll be a beautiful barn area on the backside. So we're taking some baby steps at this point, but things are progressing nicely. So. Hopefully we'll see everybody out there at 3 this afternoon for some great races. And today starts out with a stakes race. So don't come late or you're going to miss the best race on the card.
Started off today with a stakes race and starts off with a familiar horse that we have highlighted and talked about a couple different times when he ran at Fauner, and that's Axel Steele. He was always towards the top of the odds board over at Fauner Park. Was certainly one that you wanted to pencil in your exotics, and I think he paces the odds board today. That's Axel Steele, and he has your selection in the very first race to get things underway today.
He does have my selection to win this race, but I think this is going to be a really tough race. If you look at this, Under Oath beat him last time out. Beat him in the Sprint Cup Elite Sprint at Fauner. I think the difference of what's going to make a change today, one, we're cutting back in distance here instead of being 6.5 furlongs. But the other thing is they're switching post positions today. Under Oath was inside him last time. This time Axel Steele's going to have the rail. And I think that's just going to be about what it's going to take to win this. it is. It's a very competitive field. Another one that's shipping in that we haven't seen before is a horse, Atomic Tone, that last raced at Oaklawn. He was claimed down there, but this horse has a lot of speed. I think it's very wide open. Axel Steele, you could see a 5-2, 3-1 post-time favorite here, I think.
Again, we're talking with Jim Slacker, the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network, talking about the ponies this weekend at Lincoln, and we'll talk about the Preakness coming up. So what do we look, Jim, for best bets for this weekend?
Well, it makes it a little more complicated when you only got 6 races to choose a best bet and a long shot from. But starting out today, I like race 4, Prince Vanellope. She was a winner last time out. She's improved with each of her starts. She gets a pretty hot jockey, Jockey Blake Nunnally. He won both the stakes races last weekend, running for Grady Thompson. So this horse should fit him well, and I look for Princess Vanellope to get the win there, and that's my best bet of the day. Moving on to my long shot, race 3, number 6. It's Mr. Lester. He's been in the money 11 of 15 starts. He has a race over the track. It was, I think that's really important because this track is different than Fawner. And so therefore having that out tends to give these horses a little edge, I think. And he had a really poor effort last time out when he ran here at Fawner, but I think he'll rebound from that and score today. Now, jumping to Saturday, race 6, I like number 3, Jacati, or some people call him Jacode. I like Jacati better. He's 13 of 16 in the money, and he gets leading rider Jose Medina. He's cutting back in distance now. This is only a 5 furlong race. He ought to be able to carry that distance. He has a win here also last year in his only start over this track, so he's proved to be a winner here. Now, a long shot, that is my long shot for Saturday. My best bet, I'm going to throw one out here, or the long shot, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little confused here on my scribbles. My long shot for Friday is a horse called Mr. Lester. He's a hard-knocking horse. He's been running really well, but he just doesn't seem to get the win. And so therefore he's another one. He's 11 of 15 in the money. He had the poor race, and I don't know. I just got to throw him in there as a long shot today. Saturday, there's another one that's going to be mind-boggling for some on why I'd pick him, and that's Inspiring Indeed. He's only had 3 starts, but his jockeys that have rode him, kind of sad. The jockey's only won 3 of 134 starts. So to now he's going with Victor Balin, who has 20 wins this year. I think that jockey change is going to make a huge difference on him. Inspiring Indeed, I think 10-1 might even be short odds for him, so I'm going to be playing him pretty hard.
Victor Balin, you mentioned him. He's aboard in the stakes race on Saturday in the Burning Memories Stakes, Jim, and he's aboard a horse that sounds like me when I turned about 35, and that's No More Shots. Let's talk a little bit about the stakes races that are coming up this weekend.
Well, don't go to Mexico then if you don't want no more shots. You'll get plenty of tequila shots down there. But yeah, No More Shots is, like I said, he comes out of the Fawner Park Special Stakes. He come up short last time. Now we're cutting back that distance again, and that's a huge thing when we're only going 5 furlongs, because there's horses that can win every race they run going 4 furlongs. 6 furlongs, they come up short. They don't have the lung capacity to carry them that far. This 5 furlongs is a kind of a tough one for some people to handicap, but No More Shots will be really tough. I think he can carry that distance. But a horse I really like in there is the 2-horse. I bring this down to kind of a 2-horse race between the 2, Courtline and then a horse called Nitrix out of the David Anderson barn. Nitrix is undefeated in a very short racing career, only two starts, both winners, both at over the track there at Fawner and one at Legacy. So he does have the win here, but I think Courtline's going to get a setup that there is some speed in here. You have just enough to come from off the pace. He's running just like his brother does, and so I look for him to be able to run him down at the very end. But it's a fantastic race. Any of these horses in this race could pull this one off.
Jim, you talked about handicapping Lincoln. Is it tougher to handicap races at Lincoln or at Fawner? Is there a difference?
Well, personally, I like Fawner. We've had so many more years to study the track and how things work there. It's like 4 furlong races. I'm not a big fan of the one hole just for them getting a break. Lincoln, we've got this big long stretch, but an interesting one at Lincoln out of the one hole going that 5 furlongs or 5.5 furlongs is they're breaking right at the opening there for coming out of the turn. So there's no fence there, no railing up there. So you'll see that one horse sometimes without having somebody inside breaking in, then having to come back to get back out on the track, you might say. So they also have a longer stretch run. So that gives a horse from off the pace a lot better chance to make a move and not have to be so wide to make that move.
Again, Jim Schleicher from the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network joining us here on Huddle Up on Extreme Sports. A shout out to our newest subscriber to our Extreme Sports YouTube page, and a lot of people probably hopping in the live lobbies here today, whether that be Facebook, whether that be Twitch, Roku, or our YouTube page to get your insights maybe on the Preakness, which is also running this weekend. Now the field size from the Kentucky Derby reduced from 20 to 9 here for the Preakness. Maybe a break in the weather as well. The Derby, of course, run on a really sloppy track. Let's preview the Preakness a little bit in terms of track conditions and how that might even out this 9-horse field, Jim.
Well, it is. It's like I said, when you look at the Derby and 20 horses, it's tough to get a clean trip in there, and then also then having the slop. Sovereignty, congratulations to the connections there. They run a beautiful race, stayed out of trouble. But now we're going to cutting back just a little bit from that 1.25 miles to 1 3/16 miles. A difference that you'll see here is Pimlico and the Preakness tends to favor a speed horse. And we've got plenty of them in this race. There's only 3 horses that are coming back from the Derby. Journalism, who runs 2nd, Sandman, who runs 7th, and American Promise, who runs 16th. Some of them horses didn't get the greatest of trips. Journalism looked like he had it won until Sovereignty run him down at the very end here. But now we've got 6 others in here trying to face them. And there's some pretty darn nice horses in there. Bob Baffert brings in Goal Oriented. This is 2 for 2. He's very lightly raced, but he's won both those races very convincingly. River Thames was 3rd in the Bluegrass Stakes, and to a very nice horse, Burnham Square. One of the favorites for the Derby. River Thames was 3rd and pretty close to him. Could this horse do it? I really like that horse's chances. I'll be playing him a bit in the exotics. I'm not sure how I'll play him as far as win money because, like I said, I do think this is a tough horse. You've got Gosper coming in from the Lexington Stakes, which is kind of the last prep race for the Derby. It's not a real popular race, being only 3 weeks out, but Gosper won that one very nicely, and I think that'll set him up pretty nice. He'll be at some big odds, but like I said, we're gonna see a lot different race here. Journalism, I think Journalism's going to be really tough to beat. Journalism in the Derby laid back a farther than what I figured he probably would. And like I said, he did get in a little traffic trouble, but he got out to the lead and ended up losing it at the very end. So I think journalism should be right behind all these leaders and have the chance to run them down. That's probably where my money will be, but if the odds are low, I can't play him if he's less than probably 7 or 8 to 5.
Right.
It's just not worth the risk against some of these guys.
All right, so
who are you looking at?
I was going to say journalism's your favorite here, Jimmy, but if you got a long shot, you gave me kind of a long shot in the Kentucky Derby with that horse that finished second to the last, and I was all over him. I was all over him. If there's a similar type of horse here, who do I look at the other 8 horses here?
Well, he probably won't be a super long shot, but that's where I think I've got to play River Thames. River Thames has only had 4 career starts. He's had 2 firsts, a second, and a third. But let's look at the competition he's run against. He ran second, only got beat a neck by the Kentucky Derby winner in Sovereignty. He turned around. He was third to Burnham Square, just barely missing in that one. He's raced against the best. He's been right there. And so I said that's probably where my exotic money is going to be keying with is River Thames.
I'm with you. I like River Thames as a horse. I also like, I like Sandman in a better race. With the slop and the 20-horse field, it just got bogged down, and I look for him in a 9-horse field to run a much cleaner race here. I like to throw Sandman into my exotics along with River Thames, and I'm with you. I mean, I probably got to at least throw journalism into the mix because he's going to be in contention. But on like win money, the money's not going to be worth the bet. But I think you throw him in your exotics. I mean, I'm probably going to play an exacta box somewhere along the lines of River Thames, Sandman, and journalism. I think those would be kind of my top 3 as we move to Pimlico this weekend.
Yeah, for me, a very interesting one in here. Bob Baffert brings in goal-oriented. This horse has only run twice. He run at Santa Anita. Both times he went off as the favorite when he broke his maiden. He won by just a little over a length in his last outer, just short of a length. But where speed carries pretty good in this race typically, and Bob Baffert, we know he's going to throw in some of the best out here. I don't know. I think that's Bob brought this horse in for a reason because Bob's got a lot of horses that he could have run in here. So I just can't leave goal-oriented out, even though he's only won an allowance race in a maiden race. That I think he's going to play a big part in here and how the outcome comes in here.
All right, so that sets you up for the Preakness Stakes. A lot to go on there, Jimmy. A lot of horses that we can use in our exotic boxes. Tyson and I will go crazy this weekend.
Well, I kind of went crazy last weekend. Let's be honest. We had some nice picks, but I just could not get the exactas home. I'd run first and third, second and third. One horse always seemed to get me out of there. Looking for a little redemption this weekend.
That's been my entire horse racing season. I mean, if we had a bet for first and third, I'd win every single one of them.
Yeah, and I wish they'd do one of these we used to do when we were younger. Is we'd have to. This was just betting amongst ourselves. We'd have to pick who was going to be last in the race. That was always an intriguing one.
It doesn't pay very well, Jimmy, though. It doesn't pay very well to finish last all the time.
No, but amongst ourselves, that was just kind of kind of like bowling and having the fifth or seventh frame being the beer frame. Well, that was our excuse for who had to buy.
All right, Jim Sliker from the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network joining us here today. A good insight on the ponies at Lincoln, and definitely a little preview of the Preakness Stakes coming up on Saturday. So journalism is the pick. Maybe look to River Thames and the goal-oriented for the Preakness Stakes coming up on Saturday. So a lot of good stuff there, Jimmy. Have yourself a profitable weekend, and we'll chat again next week.
Well, sounds good. Just remember, we're all going to have fun, and we can bet on that. And I'll find something to bet on this weekend, I'm sure.
All right, have a good weekend. Jim Schleicher from the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network joining us here this morning.
A loser's pool. I like that.
Oh, we'd be hot in that.
We'd be rich.
We would be.
Pick the horse that finishes dead last. All you'd have to do is say, okay, who'd Tyson pick? Okay, pick him. Pick him for the losers pool.
Do you have the Preakness field ahead of you? Let's just do that right now.
Preakness field?
Do you have the Preakness field pulled up?
I don't have the odds.
All right. I was going to say
get that at the end of the show here.
Oh yeah, let's come up with our. We'll make a wager for last place.
I'm not deviating from last place.
We're gonna.
Okay.
You and I are going to be in a last place pool.
I like that.
Lunch maybe next week.
Ooh.
Maybe we'll throw a lunch out there on the last place horse.
Okay. Goal oriented. Morning line 6-1. Journalism 8-5. American Promise 15-1. The Heart of Honor is 12-1. Horse coming out of the 5 is Pay Billy at 20-1. River Thames, as mentioned by Jim, 9-2. Sandman is 4-1. Clever Again 5-1. And Gosker is 20-1. I can't pronounce it, so I'm probably going to say last place goes to the 9 in Gosker because I can't pronounce it.
So you're going to take Gosker?
For last place.
For last place. I'll take Pay Billy.
The 5?
I'm not sure what number he is.
Yep. 9-5.
All right, so you take Gosper.
Lunch on the line.
I'll take a Pay Billy for last place in the Preakness Stakes.
If they get last, we win, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So we're picking for the last place horse.
What if neither of us get last?
Well, then the bet's off.
Okay, bet's off.
Is that fair?
Yep, we go Dutch if the bet's.
Yeah, we buy our own.
Yeah, if like goal oriented is not going to be last.
Yeah.
Like American Promise gets last, then we have to buy our own.
Yep.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, we're hot on losers on this show.
You're taking gambling, and now we gamble on the show.
You're
we taking
a
live bet.
You're taking Gosker, and I'm taking
to finish last.
And I'll take Pay Billy to finish last. We'll be the only ones standing up in the local sports bar rooting for last place. My horse finished last.
Stand him up! Stand him up!
God, you might know this show. We're picking losers.
Hell, we can't pick winners.
Yeah, we can't pick winners. So this show, we pick losers.
Oh, that's good stuff. But if I'm doing my exotics bet, now Jim's got me leaning towards the Baffert horse, but I'm going to stick to my guns. I'm going to go the 2 favorites, Journalism and Sandman, the 2 Derby returners, and throw River Thames in there for the exotics. That'll be my bet.
I love Baffert horses, so I might throw goal-oriented in there along with Journalism and Sandman.
Okay.
So
River Thames out.
Yeah, I'll take River Thames out. I'll put goal-oriented in. So we'll see what happens. Preakness coming up on Saturday.
That's why we race. Remember, you can get all of Jim's picks, by the way, on Facebook. Join the Nebraska Thoroughbred Racing Network Facebook group. Free to join and get the picks and insights each and every week. It's always good to have him each and every week on the show, too.
Yeah, they're racing in Lincoln, but you can head up to Fonner and bet on the simulcast directly there at the Fonner Park. So you can still head up to the track, maybe slide over to the casino after that and spend your day or two.
Hell, if you're up in Omaha watching the Tigers and the Patriots this weekend, you can swing over to Omaha's casino and
there you go.
Bet the ponies.
There's a good idea too.
Oh, did I just give you an idea?
Well, there's going to be a couple of hours in between events. You might as well slide over to the casino. That is a good idea. You come up with
in between the fields.
Yeah, you come up with a good plan occasionally. All right, 7:53. Waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning on Huddle Up.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
Our top story might be where'd the hour go. It's already 7:53. Goodness gracious. Here we go. We are in the Nebraska legislature today because it is getting to crunch time. And a bill aimed at expanding food assistance in Nebraska is now facing a new hurdle. This just one day after it passed in the Nebraska legislature. Lawmakers approved a measure that would extend SNAP benefits to about 1,000 Nebraskans with felony convictions, including for drug distribution, as long as they've completed their sentences. But Governor Jim Pillen ex-nayed that bill, quickly vetoing it, saying it could create loopholes for repeat offenders. The bill's sponsor, Senator Victor Roundtree, says the change is about second chances and even has support from law enforcement and religious leaders. Roundtree argues that food security helps reduce repeat offenses and supports families re-entering society. He's now pushing to override the governor's veto and says he's working to secure the votes needed. The original bill passed with 32 votes, which is 2 more than required for a veto override. A final override vote is expected on Monday. The legislature also officially approved a 2-year state budget last evening, but not without controversy. Lawmakers passed the budget despite sharp criticism from some lawmakers who warned that the plan could lead to financial instability and even raise constitutional concerns. In the end, the budget passed with a 37-11 vote, and now all eyes turn to Governor Jim Pillen, who has until midnight on Wednesday to issue any line item vetoes that he takes issue with within the budget. 5 minutes until 8 o'clock. Let's take things over to the East Side Studios. Mike, what's going down in sports?
Well, the Nebraska baseball team mounted its largest comeback in 15 years. They picked up an 11-9 win over Purdue last night in West Lafayette, Indiana. The Huskers trailed 8-0 after 3 innings, making it the largest come-from-behind win since rallying from a 10-run deficit against North Dakota on March 30th of 2010. The win puts the Huskers in the Big Ten Conference Tournament next week. They are 27-26 on the season, 14-14 in the conference. Same 2 teams will play at 3 this afternoon. The Nebraska softball team will play UConn today in the opening round of the Baton Rouge Regional. Game time there will be at 2 o'clock. 3-time Missouri Valley Conference Coach of the Year, Brianne Hall, has been named the next head coach of the Nebraska women's golf program. She has spent the last several years as the head coach at Illinois State. And the Hastings High boys soccer team recorded their first state tournament victory in 15 years last night. They beat Elkhorn North by a score of 4-3. Tigers are now 18-1 in the season. They'll play Schuyler in the semifinals on Saturday at 7:30. State High School baseball tournament gets underway today in Omaha. Class A first-round games will be played. Opening round games in Classes B and C will go tomorrow. Hastings High will play Omaha Scott at 10 tomorrow. Adams Central will take on Wayne at 7. We'll have both games here on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
Get ready for some sandblasting winds today. Everybody, Tim Jones, Nebraska Weather TV. 71 is the high today, but that's not the big story. Other than plenty of sunshine, we'll have strong winds out of the west-northwest, 20 to 30 miles per hour with gusts in the mid-40s. So hang on to your hair, your hats, and your toupees. Tonight, we'll have breezy conditions, but the winds will back off slightly. 43 is the overnight low, 76 and sunny Saturday, then a chance of thunderstorms by the end of the weekend.
Right now, as you wake up, get going, we've got west winds at 14. Partly cloudy, it's 57 in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
Cam Raceway brings the action every Friday night with high-speed thrills and dirt-flying excitement for the whole family. From A-class and non-wing warriors to junior sprints, junior cage karts, and flat karts, there's something for every race fan to cheer for. Grandstands open at 7. Ages 13 and up are just $10, and kids 12 and under get in free. Want to be part of the action? Pit passes are just $20, with gates opening at 5:30. And mark your calendars. Saturday, May 24th is the Deb Bruntz Memorial Show, featuring $20,000 in total purse and some of the best racing you'll see all season. Cam Raceway, where the dirt flies and legends are made.
Connet Auto Care is the trusted name in automotive repair and maintenance services in Hastings. We're a gold-certified Napa Auto Care Center. Our ASE-certified technicians have the Blue Seal of Excellence, receive continuous training, and are committed to providing the best service your vehicle can get. Whether it's preventative maintenance, major repairs, or just an oil change, Connet Auto Care is here for you.
Accessible and affordable holistic care is just around the corner at Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center. Located at 208 South Burlington Avenue, Suite 101 in Hastings. At Bamboo Spa, we offer a range of therapies to help you unwind and recharge. Experience soothing massages, rejuvenating head spa scalp treatments, and our Advanced Glow 2 facials. Discover the healing power of ozone therapy and frequency healing. Become a member for exclusive 24-hour access to our therapeutic amenities, including the infrared sauna, hydro massage, and cryo lounge. Members enjoy 20% off all services and 10% off products in our non-toxic retail shop. Visit our Facebook page to learn more and book your appointment today. Bamboo Spa and Wellness Center, truly holistic care, designed for you.
All right, Mike Wells, Eisen Vronic with you this Friday morning. This is Huddle Up on Extreme Sports. I see Jimmy also wants to get involved in our last place pool.
Stakes are raised.
For the Preakness Stakes. Jimmy's going to go on American Promise to finish last. So our last place pool for the Preakness Stakes, Jimmy's on American Promise. You are on Gosker, only because you can't pronounce the horse's name. And I'm on Pay Billy for the finish last in the Preakness Stakes.
Order light for lunch.
Yeah. So there you go. I don't know if we can get odds on that anywhere. So it's basically between us.
Oh, it's a verbal bet.
We can't walk up to the pay window and say, yeah, I'll take Pay Billy for last.
We have multiple witnesses here on the program in the live lobby on the bet, so we're going to be held accountable, and we'll see how the dust settles.
Again, we'll have baseball on the air tomorrow, bright and early, 9:45 pregame show. Hastings High will take on Omaha Scott in the Class B State High School baseball tournament. That will be that's going to be at UNO tomorrow. Then we'll slide over and pick up the Adams Central ball game against Wayne. That game will be at Fricky Field in Omaha at 7. So we'll have games at 10 a.m. and at 7 p.m. tomorrow night here on Extreme Sports. I'm with you. I could maybe slide over to the casino in between games, get my wagers down for the Preakness Stakes, and maybe take in a race or two on simulcast from Lincoln. You got to do something in those couple of hours you might have off.
Right?
Might as well slide over to the casino.
Get full on ballpark hot dogs and at the concession stand. Yeah. So slide over to the casino and take in some racing.
Yeah. Anything else going on this weekend? I know I've got the under-9 Orioles. They've got a big doubleheader planned on Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah, so I've got a full weekend of sports. Yesterday, I went to the Hershey's track meet for the youngsters.
The Hershey track meet.
The Hershey's track meet. That's the all-school track meet.
Yep. Field day.
At Hastings High. It was a full day. I was worrying about getting the last event in before the darkness came.
Was your 50-yard dash record still intact?
Yeah, I didn't see anybody really fly off of the charts yesterday in the 50.
You're safe.
I think I'm safe. I think the all-school track meet, I don't know, there's a couple of all-school track meets coming up, so I'm still going to get over to Alcott School. In fact, I might do that this afternoon.
There you go.
Can I just walk in and say, yeah, I want to check the leaderboard?
I figure if you're a record holder, don't you have like a unlimited VIP pass to walk down the Hall of Fame?
Well, I don't have a yellow jacket like the Masters, or the green jacket at the Masters Country Club, so I can't just walk in with my Alcott, maybe a T-shirt. I don't think I can fit into my Alcott T-shirts.
That's going to be a little tough.
I know it would be.
It's going to be a little tough. That would look frightening.
Yes, it would.
That would get you banned from Alcott.
They would call the local authorities.
You want to be banned? Here's how you get banned.
We've got this weirdo. We've got this weirdo walking around the hallways.
Jim says we should box the 3 horses that we have picked in last. Box them in an exotics, because if we pick them to be last, they'll probably be at the top of the leaderboard.
Now that is a good idea.
There's some money in there.
That is a good idea. God,
you've hedged your bets.
Could you think that they could go 1-2 and an exacta? We would be so rich.
God,
that's a good idea. God, if we walked up to the counter and bet those horses, they're going to look at us like,
what, a 20 and a 15?
Yeah. What planet did you guys come off of?
Oh, God.
I might do that.
Spread the wealth.
I'll go up there and bet those 3 horses that we mentioned, Gosker, American Promise, and Pay Billy, and a $2 exacta box.
You can go $1 exacta box for 6 and we'd still be rich. I'll float you a couple dollars for the bet.
God, that'd be
I got to swing over to your house anyway. Apparently the IT man wants his computer back. So I got to swing over to your house anyway. I'll give you a 6 spot.
Throw me a couple of bucks. Throw me a couple of bucks for that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anything else going on this weekend we need to know about?
It's just busy weekend. Busy weekend with sports, and we'll have it all for you here. What's your departure time, by the way? Inquiring minds want to know. At 10 a.m. starting in Omaha. When are you leaving?
I'm starting to figure that out. I'm putting that together this afternoon. Well, if I wake up at 4.
God. On a
wake
Saturday.
up at 4 on a Saturday morning. By the time I get my shower taken, get everything thrown together.
Before 6, won't you?
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
I'll probably 6 is the latest. That'll get me to Omaha at 8:30 or so. 8:30. I want to be there by 9. Usually you and I get there 2 hours before game time. No, wait. 2 hours before game time, that's 8 o'clock.
You'd be.
I need to be there by 8.
You'd be running a little late.
So I need to be on the road by 5 a.m. I should just go tonight. I don't know why I'm not going tonight.
Bookkeeper keeping you for some reason?
No, because we might have to stay a couple of nights next week.
And I don't want to be like the bearer of bad news, but we're talking severe storms rolling through this weekend.
Oh, don't say that.
You got weather pending. It could be a wild week up in Omaha.
Yeah, I could be there for a couple of days, so I'll save the bookkeeper. Well, I tell her I'm going to stay in Omaha all week next week.
And we're talking about going to the casinos between games.
Yeah, she's not going to be happy with that.
Oh, the head's already spinning.
I'll have to check the budget. Check the sports budget. We're at the end of the year. I wonder what's left in the budget. I should probably ask that first. Ask the bookkeeper how much is left.
Probably like a good thing to take care of.
We're at the end of the sports season, basically. We got the Legion baseball coming up, but that essentially starts a new budget year for us.
But you don't want to blow off the rest of the sports budget, because whatever's left in the sports budget is like more time for the beach bar.
You're right. Yeah, I'll check the budget today and see where we are. Yeah, you and I might steal you next week. We might have all kinds of problems next week.
Oh, God. Us in Omaha?
If a team happens to lose a game and they drop down in the loser's bracket and have to battle their way through it at 2 sites, yeah, I might need some help next week. So you and I might be in Omaha together. That's not good news.
That's bad news for the budget.
All right, so we hopefully will be back here Monday. I'm saying that in quotation marks because
a lot could happen.
a lot could happen over the weekend. So
we both could be doing the show from Omaha Monday.
Yeah, who knows?
We will let the brackets sort that out, and again, we're hoping for 2 Hastings baseball wins, and we'll sort out the bracket from there, and we'll keep abreast of our broadcast plans.